Hey guys, years ago I knew I wanted to start a podcast, but I knew nothing about how to get started. Add to that, I am horrible when it comes to technology. Thankfully, Spotify had a platform where I could do everything I needed, super easy, and best of all, super free. You see, Spotify for podcasters lets me record, edit, distribute right from my phone or computer so I can get everything done in one place. I can also do video episodes as well, which as a trader helps massively if I want to talk about something on the charts. Lastly, if you're into making money, which, some of us are, Spotify for podcasters makes it super easy to monetize in various ways, including ads like this or subscriptions. So for someone who values my time massively and is always focused on efficiency and productivity, Spotify for podcasters was the perfect fit for me. Give it a try. Oh, and did I mention? It's free! Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Trading Coach Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Akil Stokes, Forex trader and trading coach over at www.tier1trading.com. In today's episode, I'm going to lend you some powerful advice for starting a new strategy. Speaking of which, that is exactly what I did today. You're probably going to hear this a little bit late. Not probably, you will hear this a little bit late. But starting on April 3rd, 2023, I officially started trading the new strategy that I've been working on called the DKC. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about the strategy and a little bit about the kind of big day one, if you may. But I want to give you guys some reasoning behind the start date, because most people think of starting something you start at, the beginning of the year or something like that. Something that I do in my trading is I try to break my trading up into quarters. It could be the former athlete in me. Football was always 4 quarters. Basketball was always 4 quarters. But for me, I like starting fresh on quarters because it provides me that 3-month period, which allows me to not make knee-jerk decisions. And what I mean by that is this, right? As a younger trader, I had the shiny thing syndrome, right? So I'd bounce around from one thing to another thing. I had no confidence or never gave anything time to develop. I was like many of you guys out there. If I traded something, it needed to be profitable and work right away. And if it didn't, I would ditch it. So I found myself system hopping and bouncing back and forth on a daily and a weekly basis, not kind of understanding how trading actually works, right? This is pre-back testing, so I never had any idea of the ups and downs of tradings and winning streaks and losing streaks and drawdowns and all that fun stuff. I just thought, again, if something worked, it should work all the time. And if it didn't work right away, then I was lied to by the internet and I need to try something else. And it wasn't until I kept trying something else and something else and something else and something else and still being met with the same result that I realized, hey, something was different here. So that 3-month period provides me, whenever I make any changes in my trading, provides me with enough time to kind of gain perspective, really ID the problem, and work through the ups and downs. Now, usually it's more like a 6-month period, right? 3 months to identify the problem, 3 months to track it and see if it's really a trend or just a coincidence, and then 6 months later, I'll make the adjustment. So because I didn't finish what I needed to finish by the end of the year in 2022, I couldn't start trading the DKC when finished. I had to wait till the end of the first quarter, beginning of the second quarter. So that's why we're starting here. But it's a really good practice to implement in your trading in general, in my opinion. Now, a little bit about the DKC, right? It is a new strategy, but no, I didn't invent it. I didn't make it from scratch like most things in the trading world. I found it someplace, and this one comes from really an accumulation of different things from different places, right? Every year, I try to spend a few weeks, right? I get about 6 weeks in the winter, then about maybe 8 to 12 weeks, I would say, in the summer to do continued education. So it's my time to work on myself as a trader. Sometimes it is taking courses. Sometimes it's meeting with traders and picking their minds. Sometimes it's reviewing my own trading courses, reading books, strategy development, right? Anything that can improve my trading. And over the last few years, I've been back testing and trying to develop strategies which has failed and reading about new strategies here or new strategies that are new to me here and there. And over that process, I've done a lot of experimentation, a lot of testing, a lot of failure, but in those failures, I have found things that work. And every time I find something that works, whether it's a filter or a way to take profits or a way to place stops, I put it into this little notepad. Now, the problem is I have random notepads sitting all around the house because I refuse to use technology and just save it to the cloud, right? I'm old school in that way. So lots of stuff gets lost, but that's part of the adventure, right? But when acquiring this stuff, eventually you kind of have plug and play things that you can use when you have new strategies. So when I started playing around with the DKC, it's a double Keltner channel strategy, and looking for ways to kind of make it work the way that I wanted it to work, I just went back to my notebooks and I had basically a list of tactics. Try this, nope, try that, yep, try that, this, yep, nope, 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 that, yep, right? And keep going and keep plugging and playing until eventually you find something that works. And it did, and you go through the process of testing and tweaking and testing and tweaking until you finally have something that is tradable. And today was that big day where it finally became tradable for me. So like a little kid, I woke up this morning, I'm excited, I flipped my charts on, I'm prepped and waiting for the signal to happen. And of course, for the first, couple hours, I get nothing, right? This is I'm back to day trading with this strategy. Originally, I intended on using it on the daily chart, something you can kind of check once a day at night and get a signal. Unfortunately, it didn't work, right? I've been trying to force something for the daily for years and it didn't work. And really, I went down to the day trading time frames just kind of, curious. I was like, I wonder if this thing would work in like a more, I guess, a shorter time frame where we have different trends and different types of directional movement versus the daily, because day trading and swing trading, and specifically the daily chart and higher, are two different animals. And it worked, and I kept plugging and playing and just experimenting, and it kept working, and I never planned on doing it, but it was so profitable that it would be foolish for me to not trade it. So that's what got me back into the day trading. So I'm sitting here back in my day trading vibes, and it's been a while, so I'm not used to focusing the way that you need to focus on a regular basis for a day trader. And right before our Monday Q&A session, I got my first signal. So I'm all excited and waiting for the signal. What better than to get a signal on day one, right? And enter the signal. And of course, first signal of the day, it plays around, it bounces, it nearly stops me out right in the beginning. And then my stop loss holds strong, and I'm all confident. Yes, perfect placement. This is why we test that area. Boom, it starts going in my direction, and I'm feeling it. I'm about to have my first profitable trade. And of course, it reverses before it gets there and stops me out, and boom, took a loss. And I joke around with the traders on the chat. First DKC of the year, or ever, loss. Time to dump the strategy and throw it away. And we're all having a fun time because we know that that's what a lot of rookie traders out there think. And, one trade doesn't make any difference. So when I go back and review, however, I noticed something, right? I noticed something alarming. The trade that I took actually wasn't a signal. Now, how can you say it's not a signal? Well, there's lots of measurements that need to go on. It has to be a very specific kind of candlestick combination. And what happened was two things. One, I wasn't focused enough as I needed to be. And again, that's just me being out of day trading for so long where, swing trading, you have so much time to take the trade and analyze and review and check. Day trading, and this is on the 15-minute chart, you've got to be in and out quick. So like I went in, I entered it because it's an at-market entry. If I'm late, I may be slipped a few pips and I may miss out on the move. So that's one reason. The other reason is because, I wanted a signal. Now, that's probably subconsciously, but when you're doing something new, you want to get involved right away. So I'm sure subconsciously, I wanted to trade it because it was day one and I'm super excited. Been testing and demo trading this thing for so long. It's just finally time for the real deal. And I'm talking to you as a 15-year vet, and I made a mistake on my first day. So you can imagine how frequent this is with new traders. And I want to give you something that I used to do to stop this problem that I didn't do, that I'm going to have to start doing now, because the reason was a missed signal. And the missed signal was literally by a single pip. The wick of the entry candle, the wick of the signal candle, I should say, was 1 pip lower. The lowest part of it, the lowest low, is 1 pip lower than what it needed to be valid. And because I didn't pay attention, I didn't take the time to really look in and measure it out and do the details, kind of just took a quick glance and said, oh crap, I don't want to miss it. I missed it. And of course, I didn't think even to look back at it because, again, I'm been trading for 15 years. I'm confident. I haven't made a trading mistake on an entry in like years. So it's like, Akil, you don't make mistakes anymore. I got overconfident. And it's a good humbling experience to be in this boat. And again, I love sharing it with you and being transparent, because you guys need to understand that, quote unquote, professional traders, veteran traders, great traders, although I don't consider myself a great trader, right? We do make mistakes as well. The difference is, one, they don't come as much. Two, when they do come, we own them. But the tip I have for you, and this is something that I did in the beginning of my trading career, is I used to read my trading plan to myself every single day. And a lot of it was for the psychological aspects of it, where, the first part of my trading plan is philosophy and psychology. So, affirmations, quotes, reminders that I deserve to be successful, and what's my why am I doing this? Who am I doing this for? Why I deserve this and that, right? All that fun stuff to kind of get me pumped up, right? I don't have a coach to hype me up with a pregame speech. So I got to hype myself up and get myself in the zone and the right mind state to trade. But I would also read through all of my rules of engagement. So these are my trading plan rules. So the if-then syntax of what I'm supposed to be doing, what I can do, what I can't do, what I'm looking for. And these are just kind of like everyday reminders. And again, going back to the sports reference, something we should do in football the day before a game, right? We're not really practicing the day before a game, but the day before a game in the morning of, we would do a walkthrough, right? We would script out our first 20 plays or something like that, and we would do a walkthrough. So we just be there in our grays, our warm-up jerseys, and we'd sit there and we'd literally walk through the play. Ready, set, hike. And we're walking. I'm faking left, I'm turning right, my hands are open. QB throws me a nice little soft pass, I catch it. And I used to wonder, what's the point of doing this? This is stupid. No, you're supposed to practice how you play, right? We should be going full speed. But the idea was to ingrain it in our head. Repetition. Here's what we're doing. Visualize it and actually walk through it so that you're better prepared in the game, so you don't make a mistake, right? Like many of us do. So in trading, I was doing the same thing. Visualizing and walking through my trade. If price action does this, then I do that. If it does this, then I wait for that. If this does that, then I do this. If that happens, then I enter next bar market. Stop loss goes here, targets go there. And now when I get into the market, I'm in a relaxed, rehearsed state, and I know exactly what I'm looking for, and it stops those small mistakes from slipping through the cracks. So a very humbling moment for yours truly. First trade, and my goal of the year, I'm process based. If you guys don't know me, right? Process over outcome, because the right process will give you the outcome you want. My goal is always to have a 100% hit rate, not with winning trades, but a 100% hit rate with good trades, meaning trades where I follow my rules. And I've already blew that already for the year with the DKC. So I got to shoot for 99% or the closest possible. But again, I think this is one of those blessings in disguise, because it happened early. Right away, it's a reminder of that, hey, I can't treat this like I'm overconfident. I've got to treat this just like I'm a rookie trader. And this is why we always say to people that are new trading or new trading a strategy, treat yourself like a prop firm, right? Always start with a small amount of capital, and then over time, give yourself the ability to trade more capital, because the majority and the bulk of your mistakes are going to come earlier on in your journey. Once you can catch them and identify them and start, putting in things where you can defeat them and stop them from happening, then those mistakes are going to become less and less. When your mistakes become less and less, your profit becomes more and more, right? You're not recklessly risking anything out there in the market. And then that makes it okay to risk more on a trade by trade basis. So hope these reminders help you out. If you guys have any war stories you want to share with me about funky stuff you've done at the beginning of your trading career, let me know. This podcast is on YouTube, so you can leave me a comment below. It's also, also catch me on social media at Akil Stokes RTM or whatnot. Hit me in the DMs. Feel free to shoot it your way. I apologize for the voice. Long day, and I got a presentation tomorrow as well, so I'm on a trading panel for 6 hours, so I'm gonna try and conserve this as much as possible. But as always, I appreciate you guys supporting the show, and until next time, plan your trade your plan, take care. Once again, I appreciate you guys supporting the show. If you want to support it even more, leave me a rating and review if you haven't done so already. Also, share this podcast on your favorite social media platform. We're trying to grow the Trading Coach podcast to get bigger and bigger. We're ranked number 7 right now, the top trading podcast out there. And that's not good enough. I want number 1, and you guys have to help me get there. So rate, review, share, and I'll see you guys next episode.